Hello again, YouTube. This is Rudolph Ramirez bringing you another shiny Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. And this one was done by Passerby. Actually, I'm on the wrong icon here. So this one was done by Passerby that just decided to challenge me, and I'm just like, okay. So I actually happen to have my shiny team with me because I just got done doing a bunch of Battle Spot battles. So I figured, alright, I'll accept it, and we'll go from there. And this person actually challenged me multiple times. I don't know why. I believe they wanted revenge or something. So I got challenged by this person multiple times. I chose 2 out of the 6 battles we had to show today. And so I lead off with my Blastoise as he goes in for Ampharos, and that was a really bad start on my part. And so I go into Tommy, my Ferrothorn, because I know Ferrothorn is going to be able to resist anything that this thing throws at me. So right off the bat, he Mega Evolves, and I'm just like, okay, Mega Ampharos. I don't see that anywhere or too often. So I don't really know what much to do except just Power Whip this thing like I always do to Ampharos. And so he goes for the Thunder, it missed. I power whip him, and it does less than it's done on any other ones. I think it's because it's Dragon type now. So he goes for the D-Pulse, not effective against my Ferrothorn. So predicting another D-Pulse, I go into Katie, my Florges, because I know she's fairy, she's going to resist it. And he actually goes for the Confuse Ray, and I'm like, crap. Alright then. So at this point, I'm just scouting out his moves, since I don't see Ampharos or Mega Ampharos at all. Really, this was my first time battling one. So I go back into my Ferrothorn because, once again, Ferrothorn without resistance. And so he goes for Power Gem. So I learned that he's got Thunder, Confuse Ray, D-Pulse, and Power Gem. So now that I've scouted out its moves, I don't really have anything that's going to withstand any of its moves, so I'm just going to Iron Head it. And I actually managed to get the flinch twice in a row, and I'm just like thinking, oh, goodness, I love my Ferrothorn for this. So at that point, he decides he's going to switch out, predicting that I'm going to go for another Iron Head, which I do. And so he goes into his Pyroar, and I've never fought a Pyroar except for the Elite Four's Pyroar, and her Pyroar is crap. So I choose to switch out my, I switch out Ferrothorn, go into Katrina, my Basculin, and he decides to go for the Flamethrower. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to eat that up. And so I thought I was going to outspeed him here and go for the Waterfall, but unfortunately, Pyroar is faster than I took it for, so it's able to Hyper Voice and kill my Basculin right there. So I'm able to double switch in my Blastoise back in from the beginning. And he chooses to switch out and go into his number 579. I don't know what this is. Like, maybe it's a perfect IV, and that's how long it took him to get it. I don't know if it's just a bunch of random numbers or some alien thing. I don't know. So I Mega Evolve here, and I decided I was going to hit him hard with the Water Pulse, because I was so wanting to take out that Pyroar, because Pyroar poses so much problems to the majority of my team. So I do about half, and then I figure out it's got leftovers. And so predicting the light screen here, I go back into Tommy or my Ferrothorn, because I keep wanting to say their names, because Ferrothorn is able to, well, it's my physical attacker, so I know light screen's not going to affect it at all. And I figured this thing was actually going to be faster than me, and it was going to try and hit me with the Psychic or something. But no, once again, my Ferrothorn, being a speedy little thing, decides to outspeed this Reuniclus. So he goes for the Recover, then on top with the leftovers, it's almost back to complete health, and so I don't know what to do with this except try and switch out. So I go into my Absol here, because I figured Ide, my Absol, was going to be able to scare him into switching into something different. Unfortunately, he chose to switch out there and go back into that Pyroar. So, not knowing what to do, I just decided to go for this Night Slash here, and he outspeeds me again and goes for the Hyper Voice. But Night Slash is able to take a huge chunk out of it, and I was going to Sucker Punch it right there and just knock it out, but he switches into his Cloyster. So I already predicted that this thing was going to use Shell Smash. So I was going to take this opportunity to switch back into my Thorn because I was going to be able to hit this thing hard with the Power Whip after it uses that Shell Smash. So like I predicted, it goes for the Shell Smash, and I so predicted my Thorn to actually be faster than this thing since it's been faster than everything else. I thought it was going to be slower too. But then I remembered Shell Smash raises the speed, and I'm like, crap. So it's able to hit me hard with the Icicle Crash here. But I am able to get that Power Whip off, and that nearly one-shots this Cloyster. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. So I figure Ferocity's done its job. It did pretty well scoping and did a lot of scares. So I just let Thorn faint here and take a good rest. It did really well. So I go back into my Absol because I'm just going to Sucker Punch and get this thing out of the way now because I got nothing that can outspeed it with that Shell Smash because my team is generally slow with my Basculin gone. So I'm able to get rid of that. So he goes into Godzilla, his Tyrantrum. I love that name. So he goes into Godzilla. I go back into my Blastoise predicting an Earthquake. Which, indeed, Earthquake did happen, because I almost thought about going into my Florges, but Earthquake being a physical move, I didn't want to switch her into that. So he gets a crit, and then he outspeeds, goes for the Dragon Claw, and I almost lose Blastoise there, but I'm able to pull off an Ice Beam and one-shot Godzilla. Godzilla on ice. Gone. So I'm glad I got rid of that thing. So he sends out that Reuniclus of his again, and I figure I'm just going to hit it with an Ice Beam since Ice Beam is generally more powerful than Water Pulse is. But it did less than Water Pulse did. I was like, what? How did... Whatever. So he goes for another Light Screen, gets that back up. So I decide I can't stay in. My Blastoise is nothing but special move. So I switched Blastoise out, and I decided to go into my Aegislash Titania. That's a reference to Fire Emblem, I believe, Breaking Dawn, basically a lot of Fire Emblem games. If you remember the Grill Mercenaries, the right-hand woman, she's a super strong paladin. So I predict him to switch here, which he did. So I go into my Absol as he brings out that Dragon Ampharos thing. I don't like Mega Ampharos. I don't get where they get Dragon off of that. So I just go for the Night Slash because I figure I might be able to one-shot this thing, but that's not what happened. So he goes for the Confuse Ray, and I know I can't stay in. I don't want to lose Absol this early in with that Reuniclus still around. So I switch back into Katie because I know Katie's going to be able to take a D-Pulse. And I actually kind of predicted that D-Pulse, so wasn't too much of a threat there. The Light Screen wore off already, which surprised me, but I take that opportunity, go for the Moonblast, get rid of that Mega, so I don't have to worry about any more electric attacks. Sorry about that. Got something in my throat. So he goes back into his Pyroar, and I choose to go for the Protect, scout out what move he's going to use next so that I can throw in a Pokemon that I believe that's going to be able to resist it. So I see that he's going to go for a Flamethrower, and I made the biggest mistake right here. I accidentally sent in my Aegislash again, and I thought it was over. So he goes for the Flamethrower. Aegislash is able to take that, and so I figure it's dead. I'm done. I'm going to lose this battle. So I just went for the Sacred Sword, and amazingly enough, I survived that second Flamethrower by a hair, so I'm able to get the Sacred Sword off and kill this Pyroar. I hate that Pyroar so much, and I can tell that this is an Ivy-bred team. None of my Pokemon are Ivy-bred. They're just Pokemon that I happen to find shiny. Some of them are gifts. Aegislash is the only one I hatched, and unfortunately, it only got one IV, which sucks. So I go for the King Shield expecting a physical move, but that's not what happened. Goes for the D-Pulse, and I block it. So I predict D-Pulse once again, so I switch back into Katie, my Florges, because I because being fairy, Deep Pulse isn't even going to touch her. So he goes for the fly, and I didn't expect this thing to have fly actually because I tried to go for the toxic. And since Florges aren't physically bulky or defensively bulky, I just went for the protect. I did not want to take that hit. So he goes for the flash cannon, and I didn't expect this thing to have flash cannon. I didn't even think they could learn flash cannon. So unfortunately he gets the crit and lowers my special defense, but I am finally able to get that toxic off because that toxic is really what makes or breaks this battle at this point because High Dragon is such a beast. I knew if I didn't figure out some way to get rid of this thing, I'm going to get swept. So I switch. Sorry once again. So I switch my Florges out, go back into my Absol because I'm pretty sure Absol was going to be able to take a flash cannon. And we did. It did about half, probably about 55, since Absol had already taken damage, so we're in the red. But I get off a Sucker Punch because I figured any damage helps. And he goes for the Surf, and so I've managed to scout out all 4 of its moves, so I won't be surprised anymore. So there went Absol, did a very good job scouting out that last move and taking that Flash Cannon. So I go back into Blastoise because I figured I'm just burning poison turns at this point. So I actually threw Blastoise in as Death Father. So he goes for the D-Pulse, takes out my Mega Blastoise like I knew he was going to do, which leaves me with Aegislash and Florges. So I go back into Florges because Aegislash has only 3 health points left, and they both can use protective moves, so it didn't really matter which one I switched into, I'm pretty sure. But just to be safe, I went to the one that had the most health, so I go into Florges, use the Protect as he goes for the Flash Cannon, so predictable. Get some health back from those leftovers, and because of that poison burning off so many turns, that High Dragon is down. I did not get swept by that 3-headed dragon. I was so proud of that. So he goes into that Reuniclus, and so I just decided I'm going to go for another Toxic here, because this thing is, health-wise and special defense-wise, very bulky. So he goes for the Light Screen like I predicted he was going to do. I mean, Florges is a special attacker to begin with, so I figured going for Moonblast or something that turn was going to be a bad idea. And so this actually becomes a leftovers fight at this point, because we both have leftovers. But because I got that poison on him, that gave me the upper hand, despite having the least health out of the 2 of us. So I go for a Moonblast because I want to lower that special attack of his. I don't want him to be able to pull off a crit or something and have more special attack than I predict him to have. So he goes for the Psychic, and she's just going to eat that up since Moonblast lowered that special attack. And so with that, I just go for one more Moonblast, and I actually managed to get a crit right here. All in all, it was a good game. I was a little annoyed that this guy kept challenging me. We did like 5 battles, and I beat him every single time. And I beat him with this online shiny team that I had made, like about 3 out of those 5 times, and 2 times he challenged me while I was training and hunting in the friend safari. So that was that battle. I will be uploading the rematch, well, the best rematch that he did against my training team, and he actually switched up his team a little bit itself. So I will be posting that later on in the day. But if you like what you saw, then please hit the like button, leave a comment down below. And if you would like to battle, leave your friend code. I will try and get back to you. I'm always willing to battle. I go looking for battles most of the time when I get bored with shiny hunting. And I guess with that, don't forget to subscribe and have a very nice day. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.